when we are growing up, the kind of church, I don't know the kind of church where you grew up from, but my own church, anytime they announce in the church that these two people were in a relationship and they compromised, church don't dismiss. We know what they're saying is that they sinned. Each time we talk about compromise, there are things we need to consider. Number one, compromise must be done over 3 levels of clearance. Yes, compromise is necessary in relationships because from time to time you need to have a middle space, a middle place where both of you can come together to agree on a particular issue. I want to welcome you one more time to our interactive section on my channel. DKLM 2025 has been a big blessing and questions are still streaming in. And if we have not answered your question, please don't feel bad. Just find a way to remind our team. And here on this video, you can ask your questions and I bet you it will be faster, okay? If you have sent your question, I will not answer it, you can pop it up here again. So our team people will pick it up and I will get to it. You know, relationship is work. You work on it so that they can work for you. If you stop working, it will stop working. All right, so questions and answer section, I call it interactive section, always help us to touch some vital areas in our programs. Okay, so in the other video, which I want you to get it about loneliness and aloneness, that video will bless you. Make sure you get it. All right. I hope you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. This is a channel that's supposed to be your household channel. All right, so I answered that of Nancy, and we have another question here about this person. The person that asks is not, with identity. It is permitted. You can ask question without identity. You want to, remain low. All right, so this question is very important. This person is asking a question. He says, "Is compromise necessary in relationship?" Compromise necessary in relationship. Wow. First of all, we need to understand what is compromise and understand what's no compromise. Can I start with what compromise is not? When we are growing up, the kind of church, I don't know the kind of church where you grew up from, but my own church, anytime they announce in the church that these two people were in a relationship and they compromised, church don't dismiss. We know what they're saying is that they sinned. They compromised, they sinned. So anytime we hear compromised, who knows? So our mind will now be like, who knows the nature of the sin? Do they? Your mind is going somewhere. Is it not going somewhere? I think you went to that kind of church. They had sex. Okay, do they have abortion also? That's what goes to your mind. But you'll be shocked that compromise is not actually what it is. Okay? Now, compromise is an agreement between two people, a point of settlement between two people over a dispute. The one that is more technical is when two people accept a standard that is not up to their desirable situation, but there's a place of acceptance. Two people agree to accept a standard that is not measurable to their level, but they accept it. So if you consider these two, you see, compromise is not what we are thinking. Now, can we bring you home now? Compromise in a relationship. Compromise relationship is just two people in a relationship coming to terms, coming to a space, agreeing to walk into a space where each of them has a fair deal over any dispute, over any matter. It may not even be a dispute. It may be over an issue. You see, so they agree to have a safe space, a space that can accommodate the two parties, so that their individual opinions must be heard and be considered in the decision making. That's something you need to know that will help you here. Because the next thing that will come to our mind is, okay, where can we compromise if that is the case? We have areas to compromise. We have financial compromise. We have okay. I have an extended question to this that will help you. Someone asked a question. I couldn't filter it into my gadget. I just remembered it. Somebody said my sister left her job because her spouse wanted her to leave the job because the job was not in favor of their new location, and she has to leave the job, and hereafter regretted leaving the job, leaving her career. Okay, so that was another part of it. So you see, decision making, compromise in decision making as it regards career. All right, so we see compromise coming in different ways. So we see financial compromise, we see location based compromise, we see another one I know you're waiting for is sexual compromise. I don't know why everything is sex driven. Okay, sexual compromise. But there's something I'm going to show you here that will help you out. Each time we talk about compromise, there are things we need to consider. Number one, compromise must be done over 3 levels of clearance. 3 levels of, you must get this clearance right. Number one is what we call spiritual standard. If you want to reach agreement with your spouse, please, I know you are a spiritual person. You must consider spiritual standard, spiritual values, so that whatever compromise you want to reach over any matter, you already have a spiritual standard that both of you will not exceed. In as much as we will build boundaries for healthy relationship, we also consider the supernatural boundaries, because if you break the fence, Satan will bite. Okay? So when we talk about compromise, Amos 3 verse 3 says, can two work together except they agree? It's just about agreement. But this agreement must have a reference point. It must have a reference point. What is the agreement? What is the point of agreement? So we have supernatural standard, spiritual values that you must agree on. Okay? So I may not be able to handle them one after the other, but bring them as a group, both financial, career, location, sexual, compromise, all these compromise. If you want to get them right, please consider number one, the spiritual standard. Let's come back to the last one, which was sexual compromise. Sexual compromise is a decision by two partners to have a safe space to satisfy each other's sexual need without breaking their set boundaries. Should I define it again? No, rewind the video. Which one is faster? All right, so that's what it means now. But the question is, on what standard? On what standard? If you follow spiritual standard, the Bible tells you there will be no sexual indulgence outside marriage. Do you understand now? So now I'm saying that if you talk about compromise, you must consider these clearance levels. Level 1, spiritual clearance. Okay? Then level number 2, very important. You see, so if it was marriage, in marriage, you see, Bible talks about it. He said, if you are fasting and your wife is fasting, you should not deprive each other. Sex. Compromise. So I am fasting and my wife is not fasting. Should she, be devoid of sex because I'm seeking the physical? He said, no. If she wants sex, I should come down from my high mountain to her inner chamber and make her happy and go back. Do you understand now? But you see, what informs the standard? Scriptural. Another level of clearance. You want to hear that one? We have cultural clearance. If I say society, you may have a problem, because society. Society has so many facets that you may not want to deal with that. So society has so many issues. Let's go with cultural. Let's say what is acceptable. Culture is a way of life of a particular set of people. So what is acceptable here is not acceptable there. Okay? So what is acceptable in your own culture is important. What's acceptable? You see, it is the culture of people that even inform government what to do. There's no government that runs on isolation. So if we have a dispute over a child, custody of a child, and we are being in court, married people, and the court says, oh, this has been going on, both of you can go and settle out of court. That's what I'm talking about, compromise. Go and reach some compromise. And we carry the child, and both of us reach compromise or kill the child. He said, let's kill the child now. If the child is dead, no court case, no custody. Court case and custody, all gone. If you do that, you remember, cultural, societal, and government, level of clearance will come after you. Do you see the standard now? Is it making sense to you now? So when we say we want to reach a compromise, it's not just you alone. There are many things you need to put in check. Can we talk about one? The last one is personal. Personal. You see, compromise is not sacrificing yourself and your comfort. No. Let this not become a problem that, compromise not coming to a place where you just sacrifice what's supposed to be. Look at what I'm talking about career. You don't just give up on your career because your spouse says so. Both of you should understand why. You should ask the necessary question. Involve people. Get counselors. Speak to people who are better than you in that field. You don't just wake up and say, okay, my spouse said I should leave my job. Then for now, we continue with one job. Then I left it. Then now regrets. Compromise need to factor in your personality, your personal need. You don't throw away your personal need, personal satisfaction because you want to reach compromise. Compromise is you come half, I come half. I would have need to do this, but I'm leaving some. So anytime it's about one person, hope you're getting this right now. Anytime the compromise is about one person, it has become self-opinionated, self-centered. It's no longer compromise. Do you get it now? So this is the third level of clearance. What we have accepted to do, have we accepted to do it against one person? Is it something that mutually both of us are okay? So we need to consider this. Can I go back to my teaching now? Seeing this level of standard. So anytime we talk about compromise, remember the standard, remember the set values. It will help you to talk about compromise. Okay, so I can now say, I can answer you very, very clearly that yes, compromise is necessary in relationships. If only you have followed all I said, compromise is necessary. Yes, because from time to time you need to have a middle space, a middle place where both of you can come together to agree on a particular issue. You disagree to agree, find a safe, comfortable place for both of you. Now listen to me before I end this video. Relationship will always demand that both of you come to a place of agreement, because both of you were not born by the same parents. You just met each other. Then even if you are born by the same parents, even siblings still have their disagreement. Please, relationship should not hide your own feeling. It's not mortgaging your own feeling. It's not selling off your own desire, your own purpose, your own life. No, it's pretense. I hope I'm not going to something deeper now, but I'm gonna just come back to what I'm trying to say. So in relationship, time from time, there will be need for people to agree. Okay, how do we treat visitors when they come here? How do we handle our in-laws? How do we handle our siblings? And so on and so forth. What's our take with visitors? What's our take with external needs from people, extended families? What's our take with people are asking us for help, and so on and so on? How do we do that? Okay, now, if you are in a relationship, please, one of the major things you need to do is to begin to find this middle ground of agreement here and there. It shows how much you have grown in your relationship if you can agree over issues and make each partner, each party comfortable, not pushing it to any extreme, making anybody feel like it's your show. Relationship is not one man's show, it's the two people's show. I see you succeed in your relationship right there. Okay, your question has been able to answer and say so many things in this video, but always remember it, that compromise is a yes in relationship. Oh, I forgot to tell you, that's what we call healthy compromise and unhealthy compromise. Already you know what I mean. Healthy is when two partners are okay with the decision, a call agreement, can two work together. Unhealthy is when it's tilted to one side. It is selfish, self-centered, self-opinionated. It becomes unhealthy. Number two thing that make it unhealthy is if it's against the standards, spiritual, cultural, and the personal standard, then it's unhealthy. I see you set up healthy compromise in your relationship so that each party will achieve much more when they are not agreeing or have a dispute. Because you see, dispute definitely will come, but when they come, you go to a place of compromise, a safe ground, a safe space,